Okay. Who are you fucking talking to? Who are you talking to? You are alone in a room. You are trying to meditate. And you continue to create an audience for yourself when there is none. I know the phone's ringing. Oh, it stopped. That's great. That's great. I thought, you know what? I'm going to let this meditation break. I'm going to give up on this one, and I'm going to let some energy come out of this fucking body because it's vibrating and it's frustrated. And the mind is telling itself stories about how the mind can't control itself. And it's like, mind, fucking stop, please. Fucking stop living in this imagination space. It's so absurd. It's so not what's happening. It's so disconnected from the process of unfolding that is actually happening. And it's like, okay, I'm going to let this frustration out in the hopes that what? In the hopes that what? I don't know. I want to, in the hopes of pretending like pretending like things aren't already perfect the way they are, which of course they are. I know that. It's okay. It's always been okay. It will always be okay. It's not some profound meditative attainment to get to that place. Pop a couple grams of mushrooms if you don't feel like meditating. Okay, so what? And yet I have this ginormous urge to help and this overwhelming frustration at the sense in which I'm going so deep into understanding imagination and the absurd non-reality of this entire space of conception. When you really see through conception, you can use it really well to minimize the chances that you're going to accidentally offload your suffering onto other beings and hurt them with your suffering. We've all done that. We've all hurt other beings with our suffering, with our energetic reaction to our own suffering that passes the karma on, and we've all been hurt by other beings. And thank you, Mark Nunberg, for being a fucking killer meditation teacher and having 1,001 Dharma talks on as a podcast I can listen to, be inspired by, and guided meditations I can follow along with. You're probably going to start talking at some point because I'm supposed to be meditating right now. All of this should be happening in my head, and all of this should be what is all happening in my head? All of this should be happening quietly in my head and not being performed for you. And I intend fully to, and I will get back to the space where when my preachy mind wants to delve into abstractions and okay, you know what's cool? Here's a cool thought. Here's a cool notion. When you go deep into these abstractions and these preachy thought forms, the perspective balancing becomes so intense, and the bridge of your thought becomes so overburdened by just the added weight of your own self-embellishing imagination, that your thoughts, they'll fall apart and they'll slip back into the moment. You'll remember so quickly that beautiful lesson that you've always known, that you at some point knew, at some point it was as obvious as can be that it's all always been perfect, and that the suchness and becoming of reality is inescapably and inexorably glorious. I mean, look at it go. It's just happening. It's just happening. It's always just happening. And there's something right wrong, judgments, values, good, evil, all somewhere on whose shore I would like to be on the other side of. Somewhere on the shores beyond good and evil, I'll meet you there. Oh, hi, Mark. Let's see what Mark has to say.
You might find it useful to
eyes are not closed.
Minutes practicing with the eyes open.
Yeah, I'm practicing with my eyes open. This is not practice. This is complaining, but powerfully and trying to share something of incredible value that re-emerges and reifies. And it's like, okay, there's the camera. Turn it on. Press the button. Try to say the thing. Try to release the preachy energy. It's like you come home to the witness, and the mind wanders, and the spirit wanders, and the consciousness and the attention wanders and wanders along, and then it reemerges in this
breathing in and breathing out,
intersubjective space
the attention if you need that.
where it's like, I get it, I need to share this. And then you're like, oh right, you can't.
Knowing the breath going out.
God damn, it feels good to stretch.
Practice being right in the middle.
For something in my shoulder. Ow. Should I read Another Way to Love? Why not? Because I'm here, and because I'm here. Well, we're really near the end of this goddamn thing, which is cool. Oh, I love the name of this one. Is this the one we're up to? I think I did Love Your Enemies last. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna let Mello do some of this for us. Tax collectors and sinners. It's just energy. I'm just releasing energy. We're all just releasing energy, and we're going to find a way to release this energy in a way that minimizes the wheel of karma perpetuating into dukkha and samsara. Yeah. And attempting to navigate and figure out how to balance that. These energies want to emerge and do something useful. And I don't think it's pure spiritual ego that is releasing this forceful, like, you have to see it because I see it, and if you see it, we'll all be okay kind of energy. Which I know we all have. So it's the meta, more abstract version. You have to see that we all see that we think each other has to see, and if we see... the game is absolutely perfectly designed. It's ungodly. I mean, it's pure God. It's us. We, it's me. It's you. It's the way to love, motherfucker. All right. Let's go with the tax collectors and sinners. Okay. So the Pharisees said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" Very cool. Tax collectors are the bad guys. That's awesome. They are. No, there are no bad guys, but there are people who don't understand that the functional level of holonic integrity is the individual human body, and that cities cannot suffer, nations cannot suffer. Sports bands, Led Zeppelin cannot suffer. Only the constituent embodied biological holons can do the suffering. And because of that, we need to actually erect consistent protocols for holon to holon interaction that have consistent rules, consistent properties. Anyway, the voluntarism is the only ethical outcome for mass functionality, as far as I could tell. I don't know how that panarchist vision manifests, but If you wish to get in touch with the reality of a thing, the first thing you must understand is that every idea distorts reality and is a barrier to seeing reality. I see that, and that includes all of these meta ideas about ideas. And yet, to get to the place where you can see through your ideas, you need the meta ideas, and that's what we're missing as a species at the moment. That was one of the most cleanly articulated versions of my big idea I've ever spun across in a 15-second mark. I hope that hits with you. It kind of hit with me. It still falls short of the moon I'm pointing at, but it's cool. Okay. So thanks, Anthony DeMello, for helping me. The idea is not the reality. The idea is not the idea wine is not wine. The idea woman is not this woman. If I really want to get in touch with the reality of this woman, I must put aside my idea of womanness or Indianness and experience her and her thisness, her concreteness, her uniqueness. Unfortunately, most people, most of the time, do not take the trouble to see things like this in their uniqueness. They just see the words or the ideas. They never look with the eyes of a child at this concrete, unique, fluffy, alive thing that is moving out there in front of them. They only see a sparrow. They never see the wondrous marvel of this unique human being here in front of them. They only see an Indian present woman. The idea, therefore, is a barrier to the perception of reality. There is yet another barrier to the perception of reality, the judgment. The thing... I just judged myself for that stupid move. Stupid.
The following Dharma talk was presented at Common Ground Meditation Center in
No,
Minneapolis,
the following
Minnesota.
Dharma talk was presented by Ben motherfucking Dasher. Shut up! Sorry, cat. Where was I? There's yet another barrier to the perception of reality. Judgment. The thing or person is good or bad, ugly or beautiful. It is a barrier enough to have the idea of Indian or woman or peasant. Then I look at this concrete individual. But now I add a judgment and say, she is good, or she is bad, or she is attractive and beautiful, or she is unattractive and ugly. The further prevents me from seeing her because she is neither good nor bad. She is she in all her uniqueness. The crocodile and the tiger are neither good nor bad. They're crocodile and tiger. Good and bad are in the relation to something outside them. Inasmuch as they suit my purpose or please my eyes or help me or threaten me, I call them good or bad. Now, think of yourself when you are called good or attractive or beautiful by someone. It's so nice to be called good and beautiful and attractive by someone. Either you hardened yourself because you really thought you were ugly and you said to yourself, if you really knew me as I am, you would not call me beautiful. Or you opened yourself to the words of that person and you really thought you were beautiful and you allowed yourself to be thrilled at the compliment. In both cases, you were wrong because you are neither beautiful nor ugly. You are you. If you get caught up in the judgments of the people around you, you are eating the fruit of trees of tension and insecurity and anxiety. Because when today they call you beautiful and you're elated, tomorrow they will call you ugly and you will be depressed. Therefore, the proper and accurate response when someone calls you beautiful is to say, this person gives his present perception and mood. This person, given their present perception and mood, sees me as beautiful, but that does not say anything about me. Someone else in his place and depending on his background and mood and perception will see me as ugly. But that again says nothing about me. How easily we are taken in by the judgment of other people and then form an image of ourselves based on this judgment. In order to be truly liberated, you need to listen to the so-called good and bad things that they tell you, but to feel no emotion at the feedback any more than a computer does when data is fed into it. Because what they say about you reveals more about them than about you. As a matter of fact, you also have to be aware of the judgments that you make about yourself, because even those generally based on the value systems that you picked up from the people around you. even those are generally based on the value system of the people around you. If you judge, condemn, approve, do you ever see reality? If you look at anything through the eyes of judgment or approval or condemnation, is that not the major barrier to understanding and observing things as they are in an individual? Take the time when somebody told you that you're special, that you're very special to them. You accepted that compliment and you ate the fruit of tension. Why do you want to be special to someone and to submit to that kind of approval and judgment? It's a good fucking question. Why not just be content to be you? That would be simpler. Why? Okay. So I have to ask myself this because am I looking whatever the parts of me that are looking for the self-aggrandizement or condemnation that can potentially come from imagining you on the other end of this, I have to grapple with that as I do this, or else I wouldn't actually hit record. And like if, the file gets deleted, I'll feel very much like this was more for naught than if I managed to get it up on the internet and like 9 people view it. Then I'll be like, yeah, dope, I did it. So there's some difference in my mind regarding your approval, and I know it's related coming from a deep place of wanting to help and share and grow, and that's what I'm working with and orienting myself with and trusting, even as I feel the tendrils of tension that fill my body when I eat that fruit of your approval. Okay, so keep it all in mind. Do your best. Someone tells you how special you are. All that you can accurately say is this person, given his particular tastes and needs, desires, appreciates, and projections, has a special desire for me. But that says nothing about me as a person. Someone else will find me quite unspecial. And that too says nothing about me as a person. So the moment you accept the compliment and you allow yourself to enjoy it, you will give control of yourself to that person. You will go to great lengths in order to continue to be special to this person. You will be in a constant fear lest he meets someone who will become special to him, and thus you'll be dislodged from the special position you occupy in his life, and you will be constantly dancing to his tunes, living up to his expectations, and in doing so you have lost your freedom. You have made yourself dependent on him for your happiness, for you have made your happiness depend on his judgment of you. Then you can make things worse by beginning to search for other people who will tell you that you are special to them, and you invest so much time and energy in making sure that they never lose this image they have of you. What a wearisome way to live! Suddenly, fear comes into your life. Fear that the image will be destroyed, and what you seek is fearlessness and freedom, you must let go of this. I want to let go of this. I am a masturbation addict with a fetish who likes to get high. Judge me? I've spent a cajillion hours of my life smoking spliffs and staring at YouTube screen or porn or pursuing my own selfish interests. Ben has done these things. These are facts. This is 32 years have passed. The body has taken all these crazy actions, good and bad, as Ben judges them, and is seeking. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's seeking liberation. I'm seeking liberation. It's helpful to, it's helpful to almost, be a little combative. Be like, hey, judge me. Is that the feeling? It's not quite it. It just has to be not caring. It's just like if the whole of the world turns on me, you have to just be okay with that. And moving through the shame and insanity of clearly being a multiplicity of personalities inside of a single body, that fact is deeply integrated within this body here, you get to the place of busting through, I guess. Yeah, and deeply, yeah, it's not, I love you no matter what your sense of me is. This is not about your approval of me. Although, I do think, spiritual ego emerging, that anybody with half a heart who listened to this would be like, this is some beautiful, brilliant, soft-spoken stuff. And this fella is a really cute and earnest person. That's what I would imagine somebody would say, looking at this, and that makes me feel good to imagine. That's spiritual ego. And maybe I didn't wake up from my meditation. Maybe I'm still silent in my body and dreaming. Maybe there's not much of a difference. Because I was meditating, and then I said, fuck it, I'm making a video. Because in my mind, I was already making the video, you know, and it was enough of the loop. And now we're 21 minutes in, and who knows where we're going, and I don't know why this Anthony DeMille meditation is so long, or why I'm still holding this plant. Okay, so we're going to accept the fact, but not rejoice in it. What you may rejoice is in my company and not my compliment. When you may enjoy, yeah, that's it. I want to share company with you. When you may enjoy is my present interactions with you, not my praise. And if you're wise, don't. People. It makes Ben react. There's people in Ben's life that Ben feels are seeking his praise, my praise. And it's like, I don't want to offer you that juicy fruit that makes you shit giant constipated balls of pointless entropic internal anxiety.